as wrong.
That is
Up, you beauty.
Decide not to use it. Curry, way down.
Man, first M2HK mini show. How do I even begin this first show, man? This is awesome. I'm really excited to do this. What is today? Today is Tuesday. It is exactly 5:50 in a couple of seconds Central Time. Welcome to the first mini show of M2HK. I am your host by myself today, Jay's Vibe, or Jalen the Blasian, whatever you want to call me, man. I'm proud to bring you guys this show. Today in this mini show, I want to talk about 3 topics. That's going to be the NBA tip-off, as you see, with my, hoodie going on. But second topic's going to be the Eminem Cypher and what I think about it. I have a couple thoughts. I'm not going to dwell too deep into it. And then the last one's going to be about the Somalia attack. More mellow, more serious topic. You're going to see the way that I talk about these things is not really traditional in the way that you'd see them on YouTube or wherever else that you watch your entertainment or news. This is going to be more about how I think about it and the way I would like for you guys to see it, because I want to present another perspective. The way that I'm presenting it, I want it to be fresh from the way that you're thinking about it. Not to say that your opinion is wrong or my opinion is wrong, but just to display as many perspectives as possible. But without further ado, let's talk about the NBA tip-off. The NBA season is upon us, and with the opening nights, it's always so much hype, so much anticipation, but this tip-off has the most anticipation as I've ever seen as an NBA fan. For being a new channel, let me just say that I'm not really a fan of any team, right? I like specific, I want to say characters, because it is kind of a drama in that sense, but I like certain players. I'm a big fan of Kristaps and a big fan of Steph and his shot, a big fan of Damian Lillard, but I'm not a fan of a certain team. I used to be a big fan of the Phoenix Suns with Steve Nash and Amari and that squad, but after he left that, I kind of felt like I'm not a really big fan of any team. This tip-off for the NBA season, it's crazy what's going on. I mean, we got LeBron James and we got Kyrie coming back to the land. In this picture I'm gonna put up, boom, boom. These two guys, man, it's gonna be weird not seeing them on the same team. Anytime I think about the Cleveland Cavaliers, I know a lot of people think about just LeBron James, but I think about LeBron and Kyrie, right? And even threw a little bit of dash of some Kevin Love in there, but Kyrie in the handles in the ISO game, I mean, that's what I see him as. I can't even really see him like throwing the rock around like that. As the preseason would show, I mean, he was distributing the ball a little bit. That Celtic chemistry is getting there. I feel like it's gonna be really easy to incorporate all the new pieces that the Celtics have, and the same thing with the Cavaliers, because when you just play with with LeBron James, I think both squads are going to be able to mesh really well very quickly with each other, especially with Dwayne Wade. Him and LeBron are going to be, mixing things up really easily. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be really sad though when I know we all know that Dwayne Wade is nowhere where he used to be as a player. So it's going to be interesting to see how he can kind of keep up with everything going around with Cleveland. It's a whole nother game. It's not his team anymore like it was with the Heat when LeBron came down. It's going to be interesting to see. A lot of people aren't sure if LeBron James is going to be a play today. I don't think LeBron James, you know what? I was going to say LeBron James is sure. LeBron James knows what he's going to do. Whether that's going to play or whether that's going to not play on his bum ankle. And only he knows how bad his ankle is. And it's really up to his discretion. And a lot of people say, oh, he has to play. He has to show Kyrie, who's the man. This is my place. We don't need you, all this stuff. But LeBron doesn't care. LeBron does not care about the regular season. And he is not trying to get hurt because he's really smart about his body. He's a huge exercise nut. He's really good at just being good in the long term. So he's ready for postseason, and he's not worried about Celtics and Kyrie Irving and those guys. He's more worried about making it to the end. For Kyrie on his agenda, man, I'm sure he wants to come in and make a statement that, man, I have my own team now. This is my squad. I'm coming in the land as my own man, per se. Everyone's always saying, LeBron James and Kyrie, LeBron Batman, Kyrie Robin, which that was the case, but now he's trying to be his own Robin. I think of it more like him being a Nightwing type of guy, if you guys understand that analogy. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what's going on with that. And I put these 2 pictures of them talking in mics because that's all we've seen, them talking. Now we're finally going to see them play. And by the time this video goes up, they've already been played, which they will probably because they play hella soon. In terms for the next game, we got the Rockets and the Warriors. Put these tubes up, boom, boom. I love the Bleacher Report, the game, the zones. Man, it's so funny. I cannot wait for this season Game of Zones if they make that Bleacher Report. I hope you guys are watching. I doubt it though, because it's a small ass channel, but man, Game of Zones was hella entertaining. I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones. I don't know if you can see my Khaleesi up there, but there's a lot of pressure on Chris Paul right now in that team. There's so much talk about Chris Paul and James Harden and those guys, but we know how it's going to go down. I mean, this Western Conference is so loaded, but it's crazy how it's so loaded, but there's still like a heavily distinguishable best team, and that being the Golden State Warriors. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. I'm interested to see how well James Harden and Chris Paul mesh, with both of them coming from, Chris Paul coming from the Clippers and James Harden coming from a near MVP season. They both are ball heavy and they have to control the rock. Chris Paul, he has to have the ball in his hands, and he's going to have the ball in his hands. That is his primary role. James Harden has come from a scorer, come from even a six-man with Oklahoma City. He's developed so much. There's so much character development in James Harden that it's going to be interesting to see how well him and CP3 mesh. But as far as the Warriors go, it's going to be business as always, unless there's some kind of crazy injury or some kind of trade that's not going to happen because KD took, that less money to get everyone on board. This team is set, and they know they're set. They're trying to create a dynasty here in any way that they can. Steve Kerr has a great scheme on his hands, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the NBA season plays out, and if there's going to be anybody that can dethrone the Warriors. But we're all saying no. But man, sports can be a crazy place, a crazy realm. We never know what's going to happen. But I've gone on too far long enough at the NBA. Only time will tell what can happen. And let's go on to the next. Now let's talk about the Eminem Cypher, but specifically what he said here.
And any fan of mine who's a supporter of his, I'm drawing in the sand a line. You're either for or against. And if you can't decide who you like more and you're split on who you should stand beside, I'll do it for you with this. You.
Now, it's crazy. There's been obviously a lot of stuff going on in the world of politics where politics has effectively reached everyone. I remember being young, no one really cared about the election, no one really cared about what was going on in politics. Now, Donald Trump has definitely dipped his hands in a lot of our mediums that we love and adore, with that being the NFL, the NBA, music with Eminem. But there's something that I just want to address, right, with that. I'm not going to get too politicky. I'm not going to, is that a word? I'm not going to get too specific with this and too deep into it, but a lot of people were mad about what Eminem said with that end part of that video. I understand where everyone is coming from, right? They're like, you can't say if I like this president or this guy, and I'm F me, I'm not a terrible person. Like, you're a terrible person. You're calling me out. Me, attack me. I'm not gonna support you anymore because I don't feel. Look, Eminem said a lot of things in that video. If you're one of those people, and even the people that don't care about that last part he said because they don't support Trump, can you tell me anything else that was said in that cipher? Anything, right now. You can be honest with yourself. I mean, you can comment and say he said this, that, and the third, but obviously you can go back and watch the video. But what else did he say in that cipher? It was a long cipher. It was like, what, 3 minutes, 4 minutes or something like that? You probably more than likely cannot tell me anything else he said because we're so bent on something that attacked us. It kind of goes with the NFL, right? Cap was always kneeling about police brutality and wrongful and not punishing police accordingly for their wrongdoings. But everyone in the NFL wanted to kneel when Donald Trump called out the players, right? Because they felt like they were being attacked directly because they're NFL players. Cap probably hasn't been, and I'm not completely sure on this, but Cap probably hasn't been directly associated or attacked by the police. And if he has, more reason to kneel. But let's say, just for this, that he hasn't been attacked by the police. He's kneeling for others. He's kneeling for others and himself, the culture, the people, the black community. But people want to make a move or be vocal about things when they feel attacked directly. We need to broaden that perspective. There's two things I would like to ask in this sense. It's okay to be offended what Eminem said. I'm not saying you shouldn't be offended, but I'm saying that you should also bring light to the other things he was saying in that cipher. Eminem was genuinely mad in that. You would think, okay, Eminem, you can't be saying things like that. You're a professional. Eminem is a professional, but he's a professional artist. And artists express themselves. He has the platform to say and do things. Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't be offended, but you should take to light everything he said, right? And see, if you do care about equality, what can you do, right, to spread equality and love? Now, people are saying that there's a certain way to go about things, which of course that's the case, but we're all different from person to person to person. We shouldn't only just make moves when we're feeling attacked directly. I think when we start getting out of this egocentric mindset and start thinking as a community, as a collective, thinking about the person beside next to us, I think that's going to be when we actually start progressing. If you feel a certain way about it, I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments below about the Eminem Cypher. But yeah, let's get on to the next subject. A huge bombing attack went down in Somalia. Here it is on the map if you don't know exactly where it is. I'm gonna put a little slideshow right here so you can just see some of the aftermath. We turn a blind eye to the rest of the world sometimes, particularly when it comes to things like this. And I was watching the Phil DeFranco show. Again, I'm a huge fan of that show. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but he was talking about the attack, but wasn't more about the numbers of the victims and the injured. He was talking about how there wasn't a light being shed on what happened. We need to be aware of what's going on in the international community. It's not all about us. We have to be able to know what's happening in our world because we all live on this flat earth, as Kyrie would say. NBA's here. But no, for all seriousness, I just want you guys to be aware of what happened. The attack in Somalia, 276 dead, 300 injured. I want y'all to not be ignorant to what's going on in the world around us. So I would say, you know, watch shows like the Phil DeFranco show, or if you want a little snippet of things, you can watch my show. As Philip was saying on his show yesterday, there weren't many big news outlets that were talking about it. So it is essentially up to us as, you know, a social, interactive, digital community to share things like this with one another. So this is my, you know, portion of sharing it. This is my platform that I want to share that news from Somalia so that I could be aware. And I'm going every so often, I'm going to be talking about things like this just to bring it to light because we need to be aware of what's going on. There's more to the world than just the US. That's it for Mid to High Key, first episode, mini show. I hope you guys enjoy the mini series. DJ DL or Donnell, whatever you want to call him, is going to be here tomorrow. He flies in from disclosed location. Not gonna spill all the beans of what's going on. He's flying in tomorrow morning. We're gonna go into the city. We're gonna film some promo shots for the show, some video, some photography. We're gonna be decked out, slimmed out, you know what I'm saying. I'm probably gonna be in my office gear because I have a basic job. I'm really excited. I'm gonna bring you more videos. I'm probably gonna have that promo video, whatever we do when Donnell is here by the weekend. If not by the weekend, by Monday. But enjoy the NBA season, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the Eminem Cypher. If you guys watch this, share the news about Somalia. If now you've heard about it, so please, you know, just be aware and spread the word of what's going on in your world around you. I'm Jay's Vibe, Jay on the Blasian. Yeah, follow our social media stuff and put it all in the description below. Thank you for whoever's gonna watch this, and I'll see you guys in the next mini show. Peace.